Babe Ruth or is it
No, it's
Babe
Babe the
the Pig?
Pig. Babe the Pig. It says
Danny, did you know
Sheepdog
Hunger Games
Trial.
is one of the most top grossing sports movies of all time?
Battle Royale is a sport, apparently, Danny. As is Forrest Gump, because he plays football and ping pong.
Ping pong.
And Casino Royale, because it's a gambling movie, apparently.
Ready
But is
Player One is the only one that's actually up there. That's actually
Yeah,
closest
that's
to sports.
esports. I guess that would be an esport now. I don't know.
Danny, what's your thoughts on Ready Player One? Did you watch that movie?
no idea what that is.
Really?
It's on TNT like every other minute of the day.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Mm.
It's a book about how the world becomes a dystopian place because everybody's in a virtual reality world.
Oh, sounds riveting.
Yeah,
No, it actually
it
was a
is
really good movie.
because it's all like 80s, 70s, and 80s like references and like 90s references in a movie. It's fun.
And they played Jump at the hockey game last week, and we all thought about the movie right away as soon as they started playing the song.
Because it's in a movie.
Because again, it's on television 75
Every
times a day.
day.
What is up? Episode 343 of the SND podcast is here and live. What's up,
It is.
boys?
Not much. What's going on?
So I want to start before we get into the teams themselves. I am going to give my point of view on the tour that's coming up this week for the one and only Odell Beckham Jr. First off, I hope he can stay awake long enough to put a seatbelt on the airplane.
Yeah, it didn't sound great. I don't know.
It
What
didn't
that's
really
about.
start off a good week to be
Yeah, he took one too many edibles. It seems like.
either that or they're saying he just. My guess is he was just up late the night before. I kind of figured it's good to know that he doesn't waste his money on like private flights.
I don't know
Like
how much money he has left for.
So we
I'm
got
sure
that
he
going.
has plenty of money.
But there are 3 teams that are being said that he's touring to, right? Giants, Cowboys, Bills. At least those are the 3 I heard.
What was the last one?
The Bills.
Okay, those will make sense.
Now, there is a report that hasn't come out, and if you listen to the Kelsey Brothers podcast, they talk about it this week, that Travis took a pay cut this week in Kansas City.
Why do they need him?
Why not?
So here's my opinion.
I guess.
Add them to you could put them on the list as a short list. My opinion is
Sure.
simple. You're already in December, so you're already looking at
Like the end
minimum
of the
2 weeks
season.
before he's on the field.
You hope.
I think that's best case.
You're hoping 2 weeks, right? Now the other thing he's looking for is something long term. So I think that it kind of eliminates the Giants and puts him at a disadvantage, right? He wants
Is he looking
something
for
where it's going to be
something
multiple
long-term?
years.
You would assume
Where
he
it's go-
is.
He
What-
said
what's-
his quote, exact quote was, "I want a place where I could build a home. That's where I want to go next."
That's nice for him. I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah, I've been
Right
saying
now?
that. I've been saying
No,
that.
no, I've also been saying that. I agree with you guys. I
Yeah, it
think
makes
it's more of a you're going to
I
sign
think he's
there
going to have
for
to take a 4-week spot and then build it into something of that. Which, if I were him, that would always
right.
be the plan.
He's
The fact that
lucky
he
at this
doesn't
point if he
think
gets
that's
on the
the
field.
plan. The fact that isn't a plan for him is a little concerning for me. Like,
Yeah, I'm
So-
tired of the Odell talk. Tomorrow's gonna be fun on Giants
So
Twitter.
my opinion on it is simple though. Like I have the Giants at a disadvantage, and the reason I have
Yeah.
the Giants at a disadvantage is not because we're kind of fading this year. We're still building, type of thing. You know, we don't know if we're going to go on a deep playoff run type of deal situation. it's not even that, and it's not even the money. It's more of the uncertainty for next season with him, with the team.
Exactly.
Is he going to want to play for a team that he doesn't know if Daniel Jones is going to be a starting quarterback next year, right? He doesn't know if Saquon, the biggest star of the team, like we assume they're just going to franchise tag him, but is he going to be willing to play on it? Is he not going to be willing? Is he going to say, hey, if you just want to play me under a tag, just trade me? You don't know what's going to happen with those two right there. A place like Buffalo, you already know you're getting Josh Allen a minimum. You're guaranteed him next year if you're signing multiple years. You're not worried about Josh Allen.
And you have theoretically his best friend on the team already.
And you got Vaughn on the team. You also have Diggs on the team. So it's not like he's got to come in there and be that number one guy.
And Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis is there. He's ideally coming in this year to be the 3 where, they may move Davis.
And their slot guy had the most productive night on Thanksgiving. So they got the weapons. So I don't know. It's just Odell being Odell again. It's just like we have the most important game of the week and we're already talking about Odell. So he's already winning in that regard.
Well, they started talking about him Sunday morning when he didn't wake up on an airplane.
Right. Well, it started way before Thursday for the Odell Bowl. So.
But then again, I also look at Dallas as an uncertainty too, because you're at the point in Dallas, like, this is year 8 for Dak.
No, it's year 6 for Dak.
You're 7, you're 8, you're 6, 7, 6?
6.
Okay, but still, at what point are you going to start looking at him of, is he the right answer long term? Should we keep Zeke next year? They're already looking at Tony Pollard as the main guy.
Right.
Well, I don't think there's uncertainty if you have both of them. And Dak.
Yeah, but if you let Zeke walk for cap reasons at the end of if you cut him for cap reasons at the end of the year.
Right, so you have Tony Pollard. That's not, that's the definition of certainty. I mean, someone's there.
But the other thing is the loss in Green Bay, people were yelling for McCarthy's job. Like, it's already getting spoken about, like, unhappiness with him in Dallas.
Well, it's all about one choke away and one Sean Payton wanting to coach again move for him to not be having a job.
I think what Danny just said
would end up in. I don't think Payton wants to go to Dallas.
Think he would. I think.
Oh, he 100% wants to go to Dallas.
Outside of the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, if Sean Payton wants to coach, he will have a spot at the Cowboys. Yes.
Well,
even they go to the championship.
Who were the 2 teams they said that he was watching? The Chargers and then
Payton?
Yeah. It came out recently that he was watching two teams.
Well, he does work on Fox, so
Cardinals.
He is in LA on Sundays, so.
Right. So they said the Chargers and the Cardinals were the 2 that he's been watching.
Now, those are most likely, not say likely, but those are 2 obvious situations where they have quarterbacks and things are not going great. And that's really a baseline for him at that point.
Right. But honestly, he's at that point of like, all right, he gets to handpick his job. I don't see him going, as much as we love Herbert, the Chargers aren't a good organization as much as we want them to be.
Yeah, but neither are the Cardinals.
No, that's another point. I don't see him going to either spot.
But you know what? The one advantage that he has is he went to a bad organization in New Orleans, and he helped rebuild that organization.
I agree with you in that term of things, but
so he has the idea that he can.
But that was before he was able to pick, and that he was a new, young, up and coming, hopefully new head coach. So he didn't really have a choice in that matter. Like we heard, the Dolphins wanted him last offseason, obviously. So. I think he's at that point
one of my favorite coaches in the league, by the way.
Yeah, we started to like him. We started to like him last year, I remember. So.
Yeah, but he's becoming great. The guy in there, all the videos of him playing with Tua.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they start playing cold weather games. It seems like they're always home.
Did they? No, they lost to Buffalo at home already.
Yes. No, so they beat Buffalo. They
beat Buffalo at home, so they have to go to
Buffalo. They
lost
to the Jets at home, but they had no quarterback.
No, they lost to the Jets in New York. MetLife.
Oh, okay.
Zeke, by the way, has a out at the end of the year, which is a
Okay.
4-year.
So he's gone.
He's got a 4-year. He's got 4 years left on his deal, and he is basically fully guaranteed it, but it's an out for it. It basically takes the cap from, if they cut him after this year, it'll go from 16 to 11, 14 to 6, and 17 to 1. So it's kind of like it's ideally a no-brainer to kind of let him walk in, or be like, hey, let's let you walk and re-sign the next day with a new deal type of situation.
Dak also has an out after next year. He's on the team through next year. If they cut him next year, their dead cap is $89 million, so they're not cutting him. But after that, it's like
These guys have some ridiculous dead caps.
I know there's an out, and it would be 39, and then 21, and then 3. So they.
Danny, remember in draft day when the guy went to Kevin Costner and goes, "Ask me how many people went to his birthday party."
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson only had half the team. Vin goes, "I'm shocked half the team went."
Me too.
This is also one of my favorite battles. I'm sure you guys have seen it on Twitter. Russell Wilson's touchdown passes versus his bathrooms. Have you seen that?
Yeah, 7 bathrooms, 6 touchdowns, or was
no? He has 11 bathrooms in that house with her.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's at 10.
7.
Oh, he has 7 touchdowns now. So he's still losing. Or maybe it's 8 bathrooms. It's definitely still more bathrooms than touchdowns at this current moment.
Man,
must be rough.
I mean.
But yeah, that video
like that arguably is one of the craziest fall from earth moments, like seasons of all time. It has to be up there, without a doubt.
Bad.
Yeah,
so he has
because Hackett's not. Hackett's getting fired the Monday after the season. He the second the game ends, they're like, "Yeah, this didn't work out. You're out of here."
What does he do?
We never week 1 we knew this guy was fired.
He doesn't call the plays anymore. He doesn't run the clock anymore.
Really?
What does he do?
Oh, he's dead man walking, and it's just. And then they had the defensive lineman yelling at
What
Russell
makes me afraid is that Rodgers loved him when he left. If they bring him back,
it seems like Peyton Manning and
Gase. It might be
all over again.
It might be.
It seems to be that scenario.
I think they were
how about
really
Jeff Saturday just proving the point that he should have never been hired by not knowing.
I think they were really banking on the fact that Rodgers would be available to trade for when they hired him. To be honest.
Well, they hired him hoping that would intrigue Green Bay to make the move bigger.
Russell Wilson, up to the season, wasn't a bad.
No, that wasn't a bad move. It wasn't a bad, at that point, whatever you want to call it, a second choice. But I feel like it just
goes
plan.
to show you how fake he was, because everybody that had any sort of relationship in Seattle just shitted on him, and not good.
I've never been happier about a take than hating Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I didn't hate Russell.
All right, so you guys want some Jamar Chase news? Because this is kind of intriguing here.
He's a crazy person. He wants to play.
Jamar Chase went through what happened with his hip and the timeline today, and wanted to lay it all out for everybody.
Oh
boy.
I'm sure the Bengals are really loving this today.
That's
said he sustained a hairline fracture to his hip against the Saints on a touchdown.
Okay.
What's the medical thing?
Broken
hairline
hip.
Fracture.
No, the HIPAA. It's a HIPAA violation. What he's doing right now.
Well, if he's doing it,
if he's doing his own thing, it doesn't matter.
So he hairline fracture to his hip against the Saints on the touchdown. Hyperextended his knee and it went up to his hip.
Fun.
The next week before the Atlanta game, he couldn't move. It was too stiff, so took it easy in practice and felt better by the end of the week. Adrenaline made him want to play, so he went and scored 2 touchdowns. Goes down versus Atlanta, re-hurting himself.
Mm-hmm.
Before the half, said, I felt a pop and couldn't really walk, so I sat down. Came back to play the second half. Why? I don't know what's wrong with me. My adrenaline was going.
Okay.
Re-aggravated again. Got a second opinion after the game to find out it was fractured. Went looking for more opinions. Spent most of the time at home streaming streaming and playing video games on crutches, eventually getting back to the facility. Said he took it as a mental break, totally get away from football, lean on family, think about the big picture.
Okay, go on.
They thought Tennessee would be the first game back, but Chase wasn't comfortable. Made the call not to play, thinking about long-term future, wanted to be 100%. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame him on that one. Said wasn't nervous, but never really know what's going to be the outcome until playing again. Chase
So is
said
he playing
he's
this week?
Doesn't sound like
preparing
he's
to
playing
play
this week.
versus KC. We're going to see how I feel later in the week, but I'm expecting to take some reps. Reports feels great. Don't have no pains, no feeling right now in nothing I'm doing, or I wouldn't be practicing at all.
Okay. I don't
So
know.
it went from what the fuck are you doing, guy, to all right, now you're playing it smart. Probably could have missed the Falcons game, but okay. You played last week. It's not like you needed to play last week anyway. Also,
was a
shout
close
out
game,
NFL.
though.
It's funny that I was looking at next week's schedule and I was like, why haven't they changed the game yet? Why are they making us suffer with the Denver Broncos on Sunday Night Football? And I was looking at the schedule, and again, I saw us and the Eagles, Jets, Bills, but I also saw that Chargers game with the Dolphins. I was like, all right, Dolphins are upcoming. Chargers are in the hunt. That's a good game to put on. Do it. Don't make it us. Or make it Mike White and the Jets.
I mean, listening to the fan all week, God bless the Jet fans. God bless them.
Are they all in on Mike White?
Oh my God.
He's
Oh
the
my
next
God.
coming.
Vin.
He was the next coming when he won the game last year, too.
Yeah, oh my God. Vin.
I mean-
think Met? I know 90% of the fan base are Met fans as well, but it's just
Right.
it's
That's the thing. It's the same people.
So one of the contractors that comes in,
petrifying.
one of the contractors that comes in a lot is a big Jets fan. He actually played football at Temple, so it's fun to talk football with
Cool.
him. And so we were talking, and I said to him, like, so what are you thinking? He's like, this year Wilson is no longer the quarterback of the New York Jets.
Right.
This year.
Unless he literally throws like 5 picks in the next 2 games.
Right. And you're also going to see Mike White.
Unless he Nathan Peterman's.
Who are they playing this week?
They're playing Vikings in
Minnesota. So you're going to see what Mike White really has this week. Right? So he said most likely this year you're not going to see him. But he said, he's like, if Heineke's a guy like Heineke's available, there's nobody he wants more to come into camp and say, Wilson earned the starting job next year.
Because this is what I was saying.
Tyler Heineke is
regardless,
the guy.
Tyler Heineke is going to do whatever the hell it takes to. He's going to take a knee 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage and get hit in the head. It doesn't matter. You're going to win.
So the annoying thing about watching the Jet game on Sunday, since obviously
I was meant to go see Black Panther instead.
Okay,
I'm glad I watched the Jet game. It was interesting.
Like what he was doing wasn't earth-shattering things, and it was just like, why couldn't Zach Wilson do any of that the whole entire season? And that was the craziest thing about
his first drive gave him better numbers than Zach Wilson had the week before.
Right, but
you couldn't have. I saw the first drive, and I said, you can't script the first drive any better for a quarterback.
Right, like use your weapons. I don't get that disconnect. Like I watched majority of the game, obviously, while flipping back and forth on Red Zone, and I text all my friends that are big Jet fans, and it's just like, why can't
what is
Zach,
he doing? Yeah.
Why can't Zach do this? It's not earth-shattering stuff. They're just thinking to guys right there. Oh, whoever the open guy was, he was feeding them. And then you see Elijah Moore finally having a pulse, and you see Garrett Wilson being Garrett Wilson. It's just like there's no excuses of why Zach Wilson sucked.
I was thinking about this. Do you guys see a little Baker in Zach Wilson? Like the indecisiveness in the pocket, trying to use his legs more than he needs to.
Yeah.
It kind of has that same feel to him, right?
Yeah. I think he just needs to grow up, and whatever he works, seems like he's a hard worker, but whatever, it's not gelling in the locker room for whatever reason. And it's really insane. Just hopefully, and the way everybody loves Mike White, it's a great story. It's like a Jeremy Lin type story. I heard that on the
Matt Flynn written all over it.
It does. really does.
Seattle's giving him $15 million a year starting next year.
Really? But good for Mike White. But it's just insane on how simple the game plan seemed to be, and in the pouring rain, making that even more interesting and like impressive of what he was able to do. And it's just like, why couldn't Zach do this? Is the biggest question.
The Bears defense is also bad.
Right.
Yeah,
that's another thing the guy said to me. He's like, that was the Bears defense. Let's see how he does against the Minnesota defense now.
Right. But he was playing dink and dunk, and he was finding open guys. So it didn't matter who the defense was if you really think about it. He was finding the open man, and he was doing a perfect West Coast offense type of stuff. So,
by the way, the Beckham tour is Giants Thursday, Bills Friday, Dallas Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So which means he's not signing any deal till at least Tuesday, Wednesday the latest.
If that.
So that's this week and next week, still not on the team, and that leaves you with 3 weeks left in the season?
4, because we have the extra week now.
Oh yeah.
The thing that's going to be interesting for Odell is we all know of how much of an ego he has, how it's going to get bruised pretty badly if he's not going to get what he wants. That's going to be interesting.
Worst thing is Sterling Shepard today was like, I'm not going to let him leave the facility tomorrow. What is he going to chase him down in his crutches?
Well, that's all tongue in cheek. He already said they're hanging out at his place. So
he's probably there, right? He's probably at his house right now.
My point. So whatever happens, man. Honestly, it's no point of going crazy over it.
My biggest problem, like you mentioned, is his ego. And is he going to come in and like go to Joe Sheen and say, hey, you want to bring me in, that's fine, but I don't want Daniel Jones next year. I want to pick my quarterback.
Well,
is he going to start the conversation with that?
He has no leg to stand on.
Exactly.
Do that.
But that's
so
my
if he's
problem.
doing that, I hope Joe Sheen has done enough equity for us this year. Yeah, like, all right, I'm sorry, Odell. Like, it's not going to work out.
That should be the moment he just is like, there's the door.
And yeah, I mean, if I hope for Odell's sake, he realizes he had 2 ACLs and MCL injuries back-to-back seasons, and I'm not saying have your head in your hand and like I just want to play football and just give me the minimum for the rest of the season and whatever, I'll do whatever, I'll catch punts. But you get what I'm saying. Like Odell with the open hand of like, I will do that. I don't expect him to do that, but I don't expect him to think that he is a number one ready to go. I'm Odell from 2016. He also can't think that way too, as much as he would like to think that.
Listen, he's hoping that he's 30. He's still young.
Right.
His body has been rehabbing, and he's going to be able to basically continue a healthy career, which ideally is what everybody wants for him. You know, there's nobody against him. There's nobody that should be against him.
It's just he hasn't been healthy. Simple as that.
Right.
So
I did like how Maurer also came out and said that there's going to be a players meeting. That apparently him and Woody Johnson, the Jets owner.
Oh, for the turf, yeah.
For the field, to have players from both teams discussing what they feel is going to be best for that stadium.
Well, I would assume the union reps, so Julian Love and whoever the Jets guy is, and then all the key members of both.
Sterling Shepard, because he seems to tear his ACL every year on the turf at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
It's another thing. Beckham's hanging out with Shepard. There's no guaranteed Shepard's on the team next year.
No, I mean, how can you? Well, the thing with Shepard is he's going to keep on taking the vet minimum.
Right, he'll get cut and take a vet minimum next year and not
because he literally gets hurt every year, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was looking up the numbers. This is really quick. Back to Mike White. The leading receiver in his first 2 games as a Jet last year was Michael Carter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a running back for anybody who didn't know that. The third one was Elijah Moore, and then it was Michael Carter again. And yesterday it was after Garrett Wilson.
This past Sunday.
It was last Sunday it was Zonovan Knight, which is the running back, and
So he checks it down.
and CJ and Tyler Conklin. So it's running backs and tight ends the whole time. He literally is just he just has capable of completing intermediate
Checkdowns.
short passes. Correct. Checkdowns.
And guess what? I guarantee you, if you do that enough early, Garrett Wilson's going to get open going down the sideline.
Well, that's the thing. The
And
Jets
that's what happened.
The
That's
Jets
what
have
happened.
the weapons that you can.
And
kind
Eddie
of-
Jackson also blew out his leg,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Again,
But
back
they
to
have the
Clark Kent
weapons.
Medley
If you get it to them short, they'll be able to get some yards after the catch. Those running backs are good. Wilson and Moore.
No, they got the weapons that like, and
Yeah.
their defense is that good. That's like what he's been saying the last couple of weeks. Is if Zach now Mike White just show up and do what they're supposed to do, the bare minimum, they're gonna win more times than not.
17 points should get them 11-win season. 17 points a game,
Right?
which is not that much to ask.
No.
So, an intriguing thing. I don't know how long you watched, Danny, on Sunday night.
Yeah, I watched the whole game.
Okay, so when I got the alert that Jordan Love was going in, I kind of clicked it on. I was like, I got to watch it. Got to put it
I
on.
was
Let's see a little bit of
dazing
it.
at this point, but I did see the touchdown.
Okay, so you probably didn't hear what they said, but it was an interesting number. That on November 29th, 2007, a young kid by the name of Aaron Rodgers
Went
to a
entered a
game
game
against
against the Dallas
I remember that.
Cowboys
I remember
Thursday
that.
Night Football
I remember that.
and lost.
when it was
For
still
Brett Favre.
on DirecTV and nobody had the NFL Network. I had to go to Dave and Buster's to watch it.
How did I watch it then? I
You,
remember
You had
nobody,
you always had NFL Network.
No, but
I-
I was in
Yeah.
school.
nobody really had NFL Network at this time. It was
Yeah,
like the
Verizon-
second or third year.
Verizon Fire.
I else had it from like day one because I remember
Yeah.
Danny had it. From
I
the
had
beginning.
Cablevision, so we didn't have
Yeah.
it for a while.
I remember having it, and their quality of product was so good back then. But it's still good.
But yeah, they found it interesting, and it just kind of like lined up where Rodgers gets hurt,
So
Jordan Love comes in.
this is
They didn't play bad. Wasn't terrible.
did not play bad.
It was
This,
still
so
a
this
close
is
game.
this has been the thing with Packer fans a lot. Most of them are just still annoyed they made the draft pick, right? Which I get it, whatever. Now and then you watch him in preseason, and it's never he's not very consistent. He's very all over the place. But
I remember
he's-
how excited you were for him.
yeah, I was very excited that day. He has one start to his name. It was last year when Rodgers had COVID against the Chiefs.
Right. That was
Just
just
put
a
into a bad situation.
very bad situation.
It was a bad situation. They lost like 13-7 or something like that. It was like a game where if Rodgers is playing, they probably win. Mahomes kind of played like crap. Love had one touchdown drive, but it wasn't good.
The Chiefs had that a lot last year. We could have beaten the Chiefs.
Yeah, we
if it
almost
wasn't
were.
for O'Shea Tivernez for going off sides.
So it was basically every time he got in, we would say, we're waiting for the Dallas game. We're waiting for the Dallas game. We're waiting for his version of the Dallas game. So when it wasn't in Kansas City last year, people were like, well, I'm done. I can't wait anymore.
Well, that's nuts.
I know. Well, and we're also at the point now where you need to pick up his option for next year. This was, I think, as close as we're going to get to his version of the Dallas game. He looked...
You're picking up his option?
No, I said we have to figure out if we're picking up his option.
Oh, okay. I misheard you.
I
You
don't
gotta
think
make
you
the
can.
Decision.
No way. No
You
way.
can't, because again, the same situation with Russ that has been talked about with the dead cap is the same thing with Rodgers. He
Yeah.
almost can't be moved. Even if they trade him, it's $50 million dead cap. So he can't be moved.
No
He
shot.
literally took a no team friendly contract.
Of course he did.
It's backloaded, so it was team friendly to now, obviously, because they were trying to win now. That was the whole point. And if he retires, I think it's the same thing. That the money's dead, even if it's after, I don't know. It depends on if it's before or after June 1st, but I forget. But him retiring does not help very much either.
Nope.
So
You're in hell.
You could pick up his option and trade him. I guess is the choice. But
so it's like Toy Story 4 when Sticky and you're trash like me. That's how I feel with you, Ben, right now.
That's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
You're in hell. Welcome to hell.
We're in hell. Yeah. So he looked. The good thing was he only threw about 10 passes, and there were multiple people who made Twitter threads of all the passes, and he looked pretty good. I mean, the pass to Watson is just a good read, makes that throw, and Watson is like the fastest player on the field.
The funniest part about Sunday night when you just text the group, "Oh, I'm going to bed."
It was it.
It was fun.
It was just
I don't
know in that moment, and you know what? They made it. They kept it close. I didn't go directly to bed.
The game.
I watched the first half.
I know you weren't going to bed.
Yeah, I watched the first half, but even I was like half asleep as the second half started, and they scored, and I was just like, it's just not. It's not worth it.
The second I put games on the iPad, it's the lights out for me.
Yeah.
So right as he went in, I had it on the iPad, and I'm in that.
Like a not great Sunday night game.
What is tonight?
This week is Chiefs. Oh no, that's 4:00. Oh, Colts Cowboys is Sunday night football.
Love made one throw, kind of covered two between the safety and the corner. That was an incomplete pass, but it was a great throw, and everybody's going nuts over that. I'm like, okay, it was an incomplete pass though. It's just we're at the point where Rodgers doesn't seem to want to come out unless they're mathematically eliminated, which they're not technically. Regardless, he should not play much more, because if he's going to be your quarterback for next year, shouldn't be playing with a hurt rib and a broken thumb. And if he isn't going to be, then you got to see what the other guys got. So we're quickly approaching a benching or a replacement.
God bless you.
Finn's under the weather, it seems like, tonight.
It's been under the weather since he came back from Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm a little...
That brings me to my next point, kids.
I'm a little off today.
Don't go to Green Bay.
No, go to Green Bay.
There's nothing
even
to
if
do
you get
except
sick
get
for 2
sick.
weeks after. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So this week is... I wonder...
No,
do you think they're bringing the mannequin with them? So is he going to be like a traveling mannequin that they're going to like...
I need to talk about this.
I wasn't shocked. I cannot
believe
it's that meme. Like, holy shit, our expectations were low, but like the fact that they gave it a Nike Sean Taylor jersey with the Reebok pants, and then not doing the tape on the helmet.
They legitimately went to Macy's, stole the mannequin.
They completely half-assed the project.
Danny, you texted us that. Did you see the Sean Taylor statue? Like, oh my God, or something. And then I never saw the link. I guess I missed the link in the process that you sent. And then I kept seeing that picture on Twitter, and I was like, did they get a new jersey? Why? What are we taking a picture of a mannequin for? And then the next day I went back and thought, wait, I never looked at that statue. And went like, no, that was the statue. That's just categorically not a statue. You can't call it a statue. A statue has the certain guidelines. It's not a statue.
I guess.
I love how they are comparing it online to the Pat Tillman statue, and I'm like,
the Nike jersey, the Reebok pants. This mannequin would get fined if it dressed up in the NFL game. Yeah. It was wearing so many different brands.
Like, I feel terrible. This is back-to-back times that they fucked up. This is the second time they messed up on a ceremony.
Oh my God!
And back-to-back years.
They didn't even, put socks on it so you couldn't see the metal. You didn't put gloves. Like, at least hide the metal.
They didn't do long enough socks.
Oh, God.
Well, the gloves, he never wore gloves, so you didn't.
I know, but put something so you can't see the metal.
Yeah, man. The fact that it was a Nike jersey when he never wore a Nike jersey just was like, oh boy.
I couldn't.
They couldn't even afford to find the Reebok jersey. Looking.
Like, you couldn't find one in the deep of your closet.
You couldn't send out a tweet. Nobody's got one.
Someone would have.
Someone's got one
$30
in a box on the wall. You could have given them $1,000 for.
Yeah, but can they afford $1,000? They literally they stole a mannequin from JCPenney and put it in a box and said, "Sean Taylor tattoo."
I wouldn't be surprised if they just walked into a store and just took a mannequin and didn't even like all that was the store's doing.
You know what it is? They were probably going. You know what they were doing? They were
annoyed.
probably going through all the stuff they're trying to throw out from the Redskins. Found the mannequin that had the Sean Taylor jersey on it, thinking,
Right.
"Oh, this would have been great," and we're just gonna put it in the box.
They were bargain shopping
exactly
at Kohl's like moose, and that's what they found.
Honestly, it's really sickening on how much they use this poor guy, every year.
They did do something. I didn't see it with
his
daughter.
The street name. They
but his daughter did something too. I forgot what it was though.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it being something cool. It's sad. It's just like you're basically degrading the guy's legacy in life on how shitty everything you do.
So much shows how great he was at the sport and like how bad the situation was and all that stuff, and then it's like the team honoring him is just a disaster. At what point does the NFL say, "Excuse me, here's the money to actually put a real statue up because that's not real"?
They don't have a say.
I think they're gonna have to wait until the new guy buys a team, whoever it's gonna be.
Can you imagine if the
but
Mets,
like,
when they said
I want to know.
that Seaver was getting a statue, that like if the Mets did that, if the Wilpons were in charge, that's what they would have had for Tom Seaver.
Yeah. Like, I want to know whose bright idea that was. Like, I really like, oh, that's perfect.
No, it's like the meme that has the people that give the ideas and then the guy with the good idea that they throw out the window. Right. The guy who gave the real statue idea is the one who got thrown out the window.
And then like you look and you feel bad for the family because they're like, they have to like be appreciative of it and just be like, no, like, what is this?
Just take the word statue out, call it a memorial, and that's it.
You can't even call it a memorial because it's not even his real jerseys. You're telling me they don't have a game-worn jersey of his somewhere?
They have to. It's got to be somewhere.
Didn't they give him a locker? Didn't they like do one of those
that
lockers?
I don't know about.
There had to have been an easily accessible Sean Taylor jersey within the last year. There had to have been. The Hall of Fame's got one. They've got one. There's one hanging in the facility somewhere. Somebody
There's a Sean Taylor locker in the facility.
So they did a Thurman Munson then?
Like it just stays there?
Yeah. Well, now it's in the Yankee Museum now, obviously. But yeah.
No, I meant Taylor's. I guess it's in. They're probably.
Well,
it seemed like they had a museum too, or a Hall of Fame, whatever
like a long ago
area was.
Yeah, tweets from 2018, but still. Like apparently they have.
There's a jersey hanging right there.
That's a practice jersey.
It's a practice jersey.
I would rather that be on the mannequin.
You're right. I'm not disputing that. No disputing.
I would love for someone to. Oh, actually, the removal of Sean Taylor's locker led to Clinton Portis to retire.
Oh. So it's not there.
So I think they took it down and it caused Clinton Portis to retire.
Let's be realistic. Clinton Portis couldn't really run anymore. That's why he retired, but he used that as an excuse.
That's like David Price saying his son told him he could retire after his contract ended. Great. Yeah. I'm sure your son kept saying no. And then conveniently, when your contract's over, he said yes. That's exactly what happened, David Price.
Right.
I mean,
all right.
That was just one of the worst.
So what are we thinking Jets-wise this week?
I think they're going to have a rude awakening a little bit.
A rude awakening, Danny says. I don't know if I agree, and the reason I will tell you that.
You're going to say the point differential because of the Vikings.
It's not the point differential. It's just the defensive yards. The Minnesota Vikings are the second worst defense in football and the worst pass defense in football.
Okay, I didn't know that. I knew it was bad,
Nope.
but I didn't realize.
I hate
The
when
worst
you hear
is
those
the
things
Detroit
and,
Lions.
and these teams are like the number 2 team in the league.
Well, I mean, their point differential, that is another thing. Like Danny said, is they. I mean,
That's the more
They
alarming.
put up a
thing.
lot of points. That's the key. I'm thinking
But no,
Thielen's going off this week.
But their
hopefully.
point differential is like right now
What-
10.
Yeah, wasn't it a negative at one
It was
point?
negative after they lost to the Cowboys, and then they won last week. So it's whatever.
And they could have lost that game too.
Oh, they should have lost that game.
Yeah, Mac Jones actually looked like a competent quarterback last week.
Did you see the report today that Brady's coming back to the Patriots next year?
I'm coming home. That'd be nice. I'm
I
for it.
I would die laughing.
Unfortunately, the Giants have to play them next year. So
By the way, we do have playoff scenarios this week.
the whole NFC. Oh, really? Who's clinching?
Hold on. There was a couple that can clinch this week.
Probably the Vikings, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that would be
Vikings
the
to
only.
win the division.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on. The Vikings win a division.
If they win and the Bears lose.
The Lions lose.
They're favorites this week.
The Lions are in second place. Oh, no.
It is, yeah. And then the other one was the Eagles could clinch a playoff spot this week.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. With a win and a what?
I'm
going to say probably
so
a
the
Packer
Eagles. So the
loss.
Eagles win. Oh, it's actually a lot of things that they need to clinch.
Yeah,
the
it's a
playoff
Packer
spot.
loss and a Panther loss and a Cardinal. It's
No.
one of those kind of things.
No, it's an Eagles beat the Titans, Giants beat the Commanders, Rams beat the Seahawks, Dolphins beat the Niners.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
That's
the
a-
Commanders. I forgot your whole division is the wild card.
Yep. That's going to obviously change.
You know what's interesting? The way the rest of the NFC is, there's a possibility it doesn't.
Well, that's
Giants need theoretically 2 wins.
They
3
said
would be
9
away.
wins makes the playoffs in the NFC.
So that's 2 wins. And
That's
10 would be even sweeter.
So you got to win 2 games out of the Eagles
6.
twice.
We have 6 games. And hopefully the Eagles don't play week 18.
You got the Eagles twice.
It's
You got the Commanders twice.
Yes, it's twice.
And the Colts.
Colts, Vikings.
Oh, and the Vikings.
I would have said that was fine before the Commanders got hot.
Before
The craziest thing
before they
about
realized Carson Wentz is not the answer at
the
quarterback.
craziest thing about the Commanders is
That's the Commanders.
we're sandwiched between them because they have the bye, so their bye is sandwiched between our 2 games.
Right. We're hosting Commanders. They're on a bye while we play the Eagles, and then we go to the Commanders. Right?
So they
Right.
basically have a home with you.
And that's rumored, yeah, basically. And it's rumored that could be a Saturday night game.
They can't change the date.
No, it's a TBA date. If you look at the schedule, it's TBA.
Really?
Yep. I have one of those souvenir cards.
No, it says time is to be determined. December 18th is the game.
Oh, okay.
Sunday the 18th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Time is to be determined.
I thought it was that time of year. Saturday could be switched up. Okay.
No, they have to have it listed as Saturday.
Okay. I
Yeah.
could have sworn Art tweeted something out about that. That's why I brought it up. Okay.
Speaking of Saturdays coming up, did you guys see the Army Navy jerseys for this year?
No.
I kind of like them.
I did. They're pretty nice. Navy is honoring NASA. I'm not sure why they're honoring NASA.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
But Army's jerseys are very cool and traditional. They're honoring, I forget the division.
It's like the
forgive me.
tanks. or
Yeah, the
something.
tanks.
Okay.
And the reasoning. Story behind it is pretty cool. Forgive me for butchering why, but it was pretty cool.
I wanted to go back. I have to look at those jerseys after. But the NFC playoff picture. So at the moment, as we said,
Eagles. Oh, there we go.
Couldn't
It's
find the
Eagles.
pictures.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I don't know why they're on there, now, but here's kind of a look at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I like the Army ones, but I also do like the Navy ones. I don't get.
No,
the,
I like
yeah,
I like them too. I don't understand why they're honoring NASA though, but who knows?
Is it crazy to think that the Bucks are gonna go to the Super Bowl?
No,
No way.
No
It's not
way they're
crazy to
going,
think
or
it.
no way it's crazy.
They're just off. There's something off.
Okay.
I
Todd
have a
Bowles-
feeling that when
Todd
they
Bowles
get into the
stinks.
postseason, things is going to
Yeah.
switch.
If possible, of course, Tom Brady's your quarterback, but Todd
that's what I'm
Bowles
saying.
Stinks. Todd Bowles
The-
stinks. Brian Leftwich stinks. Like
The current playoff quarterbacks are Taylor Heineke, Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, and Jalen Hurts.
as much as I want to say yes, we just can't. You can't be getting away with this.
Okay.
You
I'm
can't-
just-
I'm going
I'm
to tell
just
you the guy
throwing
that
it
I
out
trust
there.
the most in that grouping
Jimmy.
is Jimmy.
So at the moment,
Jimmy is my most reliable quarterback in the going to the postseason.
the Bucks
Has the
would
most
get,
experience.
He had one missed throw. He would have been a Super Bowl champion.
and he's not going to have to play Jimmy until the championship game at the current moment, because their first game is a home game against the Cowboys.
If it ended today,
If it ended today, if we're assuming the division winners win, which would mean the Vikings beating
he would then have to go to
beating the
Philly.
Commanders, he would then have to go to Philly, who can't stop anybody for the life of them. And then
Yeah, they keep signing defensive players, and they can't stop anything
Right.
defensively.
and then they would have to assumably maybe play the Niners or the Vikings on the road. If they're playing Kirk Cousins in the championship game, I'm taking Tom Brady.
Well, yes, that means they're juggernaut and hot, and then everybody's
Correct.
going to take them.
Correct.
And you know what that means.
But it doesn't. It's not
Kirk
going to
Cousins
take a
prime
lot
time.
for
Kirk
Mike
Cousins
McCarthy
prime
to.
time. Kirk
fuck
Cousins
things
prime
up.
time.
It's not going to take a lot for Mike McCarthy to fuck things up in a playoff game, and then they just beat the Eagles, who are on a bye, and
I'm sorry.
it's
The Cowboys should beat the
They should.
Buccaneers every day and twice on Sunday.
100%.
Because all you got to do is have Diggs on Evans and Brady. It's just they're just off.
You know
I,
what?
I
off.
find Diggs to be one of the more like, he's good, but like most hype corners.
Well, he's
'cause
a
it's
cowboy.
It's not even that. It's not even that he's a cowboy. It's like he's all in or nothing. It's either a pick off or
Yeah, we said that last year. He
I
had the most yards given up, but he led the league in picks. So people
and he led
forget
the league
that.
in interception yards.
also had a
Yeah, that's what
question.
I'm saying. Yeah,
If you were the Vikings and you were their coach,
Play
would
the
you
backup
bring
in the
up
playoffs?
the fact that your quarterback sucks in primetime?
of course.
Because they do. Like, after they won on Thanksgiving, he said, "I'm pretty sure this game was in primetime," and like bragged
well, that
about
was
it.
yeah. That
Like,
was
this is the
sarcasm.
first time he's done this in like 10 years.
Did you guys also
It
see?
seems a little weird for his coach to be bragging about the fact that his quarterback sucks in primetime and finally beat Mac Jones.
He's just defending his defending his
It's-
guy. I'm
Did you
with
guys
you,
also
but
see
that's the thought.
It's weird.
that this week was the first ever Jaguar win in team history when they were losing with less than a minute left.
Really?
That seems
They
impossible.
were like
no, it's gotta be
one
impossible.
in like
They
it was like
David Garrard threw a Hail
0 and-
Mary. It's like on all the Hail Mary
Oh
highlights.
man, my
Yeah, but
parlay
they lost
was
that game,
straight
remember?
up mush. My
think they
parlay
won
on
that
Sunday
game.
was such
no
a-
the Hail Mary game they lost because remember they missed
You-
the extra point.
No, that was a different one. They won that game, I think.
which game? I'm
No, they
drawing
lost
a
the
blank.
same
Okay,
game.
so the Saints lost on it. They ran a crazy last play and like did a hook and ladder nonsense pitching it around, and they had to kick the extra point to tie the game and missed the extra point, and the Jaguars won. the game.
Jaguars snap insane 183 game streak and shocking comeback win over Ravens.
I mean, so 180. What's 180? That's a lot. Maybe they were tied in this. Like I said, David Garrard. I could see it. David Garrard threw some kind of Hail Mary, and Gus Johnson was calling it, and they caught it. But maybe they were tied when this happened.
Also, shout out to the guy on Twitter for calling Lamar Jackson out and saying 250 million guaranteed. You shouldn't have Justin Tucker be kicking 66-yard field goals.
He
against the Jaguars.
almost made it.
I know. Granted, he almost made it, but still, if you want to make
If he was a
250 million
yard
guaranteed,
closer, he would have nailed it.
if you want to make 250 million guaranteed, you should
Yeah.
not let Justin Tucker be the difference maker in a Jaguar game.
It was very funny though because I saw a couple reaction videos where the Ravens, like fans, thought he made it, and I agree with them because if you assume if he's kicking the ball and it goes to where the uprights, like in the upright, he kicked it long enough. That's never the issue, and it was in the uprights but short. Kind of crazy.
No, he literally nailed that kick.
Yeah.
So
direction wise, he nailed it.
Luckily, I was up by like 800 points on.
Oh my
was
god!
that you, Vin? No,
that was me. Yeah, my team had a shit week.
Luckily,
I survived against Denise. Thank God for Najee Harris getting hurt.
Yeah, I had a big week against Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily that 66-yard miss didn't matter.
We want to do picks?
Still can't believe that like Justin Tucker was a free agent.
Was he?
He got cut because he had his bye week, and I'm like,
I get that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
With him, you might not have done it, but most people, I
That was
no matter.
That was Brian being Brian. No, you find someone to cut for Justin
him.
Tucker. He's the only one.
There's got to be someone else to cut for Justin Tucker on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Even Graham Gano is one of those guys that you can like, if it's like you don't need to like. Again, minus the game a couple weeks ago when he had the flu, but like he's still a reliable kicker.
Right.
99, like I said, I think he's the only one. Everybody else I'll cut. Whatever defense is, I'll cut.
same.
It doesn't really matter. Just
now they picked up Tucker, he could be a keeper next year. Tucker's the type of kicker that you could argue could be a keeper.
No, we're disbanding the league if we do.
Yep, if you're keeping Tucker, I'm out.
Good. Finally get some real fucking. I can have Ryan run more teams.
Imagine just playing in a league with you and 11 Ryans. That'd be so funny.
Good enough playing with two of them.
The trades would be hilarious.
The trades between the Ryan clones would be hysterical. I'm gonna create a movie like this. Shout out Have.
Well, yeah.
Thursday night. Oof.
You gotta take the Bills, right?
Yeah, but I think the Patriots are going to make it interesting enough because the Bills, for whatever reason, aren't.
They don't like to play games.
Allen has not been playing well lately.
No,
he has a torn. He's Tommy John surgery.
I know.
And everything in my bones want to take the Patriots, but I just can't.
Go with your bones, Danny.
I'll go with the Patriots.
Going with the
Bills. I
Bills.
feel dirty doing it.
Nobody does the wagons.
Nobody circles the wagons.
Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-7. Can we just talk about how are they 4-7?
Oh my God, I've been thinking about this.
Is this guy going to go on a streak and end the season over 500?
I have a question. Can NFL coaches quit like college coaches do?
Yes.
Like just quit and take another job?
Yeah, of course.
If I'm him, I'm quitting and taking another job.
Tomlin?
Yeah. I'm out.
Why?
Kenny Pickett stinks. Najee Harris stinks. I don't want to do a rebuild. I'm out.
Nah.
Quit.
Nah.
He will
you have a job for life. You don't have
He's
to
been
go
there
anywhere.
for
have
16
a new
years.
job tomorrow.
But you're
this over again. You'll
you're
have any job
Steelers
you want.
head coach though. It's different.
I know.
Speaking of coaches, Danny,
I'm going Steelers, by the way.
I'm gonna go Falcons. I just like the way they've been playing. Danny, did you know that the Nebraska interim coach that they fired, not only was he also arrested today, apparently, but that's besides the fact. Yeah, domestic abuse. Anyway, he was the first black coach in any sport at the University of Nebraska.
I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah,
but
I don't know how that's possible.
Right. It's like
Finn.
you didn't even change anything. Whose
then.
dumpster fire is going to be shining brighter at the end
Well,
of this game?
if Fields doesn't play,
If
I give
Fields
you a
doesn't
shot.
play, I'm going Packers.
then it's obvious.
I guess
If-
I'll
How
go
do we
Packers.
how do we
again.
know how do we know who's going to play quarterback for the Bears because they flip-flopped it 4 times before the game on Sunday?
We
I
don't.
don't know.
I don't see
I'm
him
taking
playing
the
with the
Pa-
separated shoulder. I don't
I'm
see it.
confident that they'll win if he doesn't play. If he plays, they're losing. If he plays, go on
I mean,
FanDuel
they're.
bet Justin
They're
Fields
3-9.
rushing
You can't risk it.
I was thinking that exact same thing, Danny. I'm at the point where he's looked good this year. You just sit him for the rest of the year, get your draft picked, and keep building that line around
I
him.
agree.
Right.
You got
And
Mooney
don't they
who
have
got hurt
don't
also.
they have an extra pick too this year? First
They
round
also-
wise?
Didn't they trade all their picks for
No, it was just with us.
Chicago Bears draft picks 2023? Ba-ba-ba. Chicago Bears have. Where is this answer? Oh, that's a draft order.
No, they don't have any extra firsts. They have a second they got for Roquan Smith.
Okay. They have a
It's
decent
a
amount of capital.
1, a 2, a 3, a 2 4s, 2
Oh,
5s, and a 7.
They
Oh.
traded their second for Chase Claypool, so they only have one.
That's
second.
right.
Okay.
That's right.
Got it.
Yeah, but they also have the capital in the draft to get back into the second. Like they have 2 fifths, they have 2 fourths, so you can use those.
Or they get popped back up
Right.
if they want.
Yeah, they have that with some future ones. Yeah, they have a couple of those. So yeah. Oh, I like this website. Shows you all the drafts.
Is Jared Goff hurt?
I don't think so.
Not that I know. Played well Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I'm going Lions.
I thought I saw them sign the quarterback today, and I was curious as to why they would do that.
No, the Bears signed the quarterback today.
Oh, the Bears did. That's
they
what
sign?
it was. One of an old Packer backup,
Okay.
Tim Boyle.
Oh, I remember Tim Boyle.
Yeah,
He was actually a Bear also. Yeah, Bears
Yeah.
had Tim Boyle today.
right. So that was they were saying
They
he was
added him off the Lions practice squad today.
okay. He was on the Lions practice. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So people, the Packer fans are hoping he plays just because it would be a funny story.
Tim Boyle revenge game.
Correct. Oh yeah, if Tim Boyle plays, take the Bears.
All right, I'm going Lions. All right, I'm going Vikings.
Vikings at home, not prime time.
The coin broke its streak last week.
Yep, it was about time.
Yeah.
But all
So
that
I'm gonna
matters is Johnny got ice cream, so who cares about the stupid coin?
Well,
So what you're telling me is don't put the Jets down for the AFC Championship game? Got it.
well, the coin had them winning the rest of the games after that game.
So
I'm taking the Vikings. This is the reversal of the coin.
I mean,
I'm taking the command. I'm putting money on the Commanders this week. I'm sorry, boys.
it's okay. I'm going Giants, home favorite.
I don't
I
care
mean,
how
home dogs.
Yeah, I don't care how legacy this is.
They're gonna wake up. They're getting healthy.
we need that bounce back game.
I'm also sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That video they put out stunk.
Which one?
They put out a Step Brothers
Oh, the Step
with
Brothers.
Sean O'Hara and Rob Riggle and Eli.
You're just jealous because we have fun former
It
players and
wasn't-
you have Brett Favre who steals money from libraries.
Yeah,
I thought it was well done.
it was all right, but Sean O'Hara was not. It's not
Well, yes, Sean O'Hara is just there.
correct. But that's the thing. They gave Sean O'Hara too big of a role. Eli can handle himself. It's obviously Rob Riggle can. Sean O'Hara not so much.
Yeah.
The
Whatever.
AJ Brown revenge game.
I'm going Titans because they're gonna
Ooh.
actually be able to stop the running game.
The Eagles are going to get their asses run over.
This is why Linval Joseph and
Dominican.
It is, but they
Kinda-
couldn't stop the Packer running game. They're going to be able to stop Derrick Henry?
of course Derrick Henry's a bum.
Well,
To quote-
the Packers didn't know how to stop the running game as well.
The Morgan Freeman gift from The Dark Knight. Good luck.
Vince said something stupid.
I didn't say shit. Unless Snacks is just a Sean O'Hara defender, which I can't imagine. He doesn't like any
No,
players.
he said he wanted to come on regardless.
Oh, okay.
There's that beautiful
Hey, bud.
man.
Where are you? You're in some
Are you in a bathroom or
1970s.
something? What are you doing?
Are you in the
Basement.
the 70s show's basement?
Yeah, you hanging out with Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher?
I think he froze. Wherever he is, he has terrible internet.
Yeah, in the 70s, there was not great internet. I'll tell you that right now.
There he is.
And now he's on mute, so he's just yelling at.
He's just yelling at himself, which is just a normal day for old Snacks. This is not going well. This is. We got a potato computer situation.
Nice
here.
nice
There it
radio
is.
here.
Well,
What's up, Vin? Fuck you, Vin.
Nicely produced.
By the way, that was one of the more watched videos on social media of you.
Was it?
Of Snacks just getting angry at seeing Vin's face.
And then lovable.
Nothing against that
It's a
little
common-
kid. Nothing
it's a
against the
common
little kid that you went over that started like talking to you right after you saw Vin.
Ruined the
But I
moment.
wish that kid ruined the whole thing because
Yeah.
you then gave him a hug. Like that would have been a nice
Yeah.
part of the story. But the kid just like
The
got in
Grinch's
there.
heart grew 3 sides when he talked to a little kid, and then it was all over.
Then
Yeah,
he
he's
saw
a
Vin
miserable
again.
bitch.
Yeah.
Well, fuck him. Excuse my language. I
Yeah, this is a family-friendly show, sir.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Well,
not
I
at all.
donated to St. Jude today. If anybody
Oh,
cares.
good for you.
So family friendly, my ass.
Trying to make up for all that Bay Karma.
He's trying to make sure that Cole doesn't end up underneath that. that
Vin,
tree.
let me tell you something.
He doesn't want another Garrett Cole underneath the tree. That's what it is.
I'm all ears.
By the way, Aaron Judge needs to take that contract offer today, right?
You would think, right?
What's
like
the offer?
$38 million a year. Like, what is he doing?
He would have the
Listen,
highest.
if he doesn't want to take it, I'll take it. I mean, the Yankees can give me $38 million. I won't,
Other
be
than-
as, I
other
won't
than-
hit 65 home runs, but you know.
Trout has the highest contract of all time because of the 2 years extra, but
Right.
Judge has the
highest
biggest-
AAV.
Yeah. I mean, you're an idiot if you don't take it.
And it's got to be a net full
what-
trade, right?
He's probably trying to leverage the Giants to go more, and then the
Right.
Yankees to go
Yeah.
more.
Of
But
course,
it's just-
it's a game.
It's a game, yeah, right.
But it's only
And
the two. Like nobody else is gonna pay him. We're not paying him, so that's it.
Nobody else has had a visit, right?
I don't think so. I
No,
think it's just the two of them.
Apparently, the Dodgers spoke to him and asked about a visit, and when he said no to visiting them, they offered him a contract, and he rejected it.
the
like, right
Dodgers
away.
will just
He's
sit
like, "I'm not
there-
coming to visit. Why would I want to pay? Why would you guys offer me a contract?"
Right.
The Dodgers will put their name out there in case he decides that he wants to leave New York, but the Giants stink. So he'll be
The
like,
Dodgers
"Oh, go to
always
the
have to
Dodgers."
put their
Yeah.
name out there because they're the Dodgers.
See, Vin, that's my thing, Vin. Like, why on earth? Okay, does he want to be Robinson Cano and go to irrelevancy for how long, or do
He
you
should
want
go
to
to
be the
Seattle.
next
That's where
Yankee
he should go.
captain? Like,
He should go to
Right.
Seattle.
Because that press conference, he becomes the Yankee captain.
I don't know
without a
if
doubt. Yep.
San Francisco is Seattle, but your point is not wrong. But there are guys who don't want to be.
Listen,
the
they
captain of
love
the
their
Yankees. They
steroid
don't,
guys in
you
San
know.
Francisco. So if Judge
Well,
goes to,
Let's face it, he's basically been the de facto captain for the
can you
last 3
can you
years.
imagine if he goes there and then
Yeah,
doubles in
Dan, you're
size
right.
like Barry
Without
Bonds did?
the actual title, he has been. Yeah.
And then he defecated in his pants in the playoffs.
But can you imagine?
Wow,
like,
Vin, wow, Vin. You know what?
here it comes.
That brings me to my next. That brings me to my next point.
It happened. I'm just
Defecating
saying
in
it
his pants in the
happened.
play- Shut the fuck up. Brings me to my next point. Interesting. I got $90 million. The
You didn't
two
even finish the word
greatest
fuck in the
arms
middle.
of all time, and 101 win team. By the way, congrats on Coach of the Year. That's Manager of the Year. That's whew, oh my.
You're never going to
God,
see Aaron
that-
Boone win that.
That's amazing.
That's it. Aaron
Yeah,
Boone
he's
get
doing
that.
Then you stupid sons of bitches get fucking throttled in 3 games against Padres. You
So,
want to start me, Vin? I'll fucking start with you.
hey, Snacks, what do you think about Jacob deGrom going to the Tampa Bay Rays?
Yo, if they give Jacob deGrom $45 million a year,
First of all, that doesn't even cover their stadium expenses, so that'll never happen.
If he goes to the Rays, they're gonna have some magic, and he's gonna come out like the Winter Soldier with a robotic arm
Another-
and blow you all
Can you
away.
imagine?
Another reason why Andy Martino is a fraud.
$45 million, but they can't get a new stadium down there. Like they
I-
can't afford
it's
it, but they're paying a guy to pitch for $45 million.
Danny. You've been to the Trop, right?
Oh, it's
His
disgusting.
first check would bounce.
It was literally like going to the Nassau Coliseum for baseball. It
Okay.
was horrific.
Good.
And like the upper deck was tarped off. That's how bad it was.
I don't think
That's-
anyone's ever been to the upper deck.
Yeah, the Red Sox fans and the Yankee fans when they
Yeah.
host those guys, they
I
sell out the
think
stadium
just
every
for the
time.
playoffs. That was literally the worst baseball game I've ever been to, and I was literally 5 rows from the field.
Yeah.
It was.
And
it
you
was
paid
like
$10 to sit there,
yeah.
probably.
It was like, it was a bullpen game for both teams, and G-Man Choi hit a walk-off home run in like the 10th or 11th. inning.
G-Man Choi.
the fact
and
that you
it's-
stayed
and it
at that
still
game to
sucked.
the 10th or 11th inning is more.
I was
impressive
on
than the fact that he hit
vacation.
the
I
home
was
run.
still high on the
But
Daniel Jones.
They were playing the Yankees?
Yeah, I was still high on the Daniel Jones first career win and stuff. So,
So you
Right.
stayed for a Yankee Rays bullpen
well,
game.
I was
to
also with
Dick's
my
Rays.
my mother-in-law and father-in-law, or stepfather-in-law, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, he didn't want to leave, and I was like, all right, whatever. This game, I wanted to pull my hair out of my head.
Yeah. Well, Danny, if you score the game, it's always better.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I agree.
I agree. That's why. So Snacks,
That's
I'll give you a
still
little
one-
story of the last game we went to this season. It
We're-
was against the Cubs, and we got blown out so badly that I stopped scoring it in like the third inning, and I'm not even going back. I
They were
literally
down
go to
6-0
Vin.
in
I
the
go
first
to
inning.
Vin. I go to Vin. I go, I'm gonna go home and I'll just score it when I get home. And I still haven't opened the book since that moment.
There's no reason to do it.
And
No.
he said, he's like, you can't. You just can't. At this point, you just have to
David
leave.
Sorry.
Peterson gave up
It's-
4 runs
it's-
before he got an out, I think.
It's 2022, and you could just go on your MLB app and you just see what happens on the scorecard.
But you can't do it in the moment, Danny. You
No,
can't.
no.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's
You don't
funny.
know why
I
when sit there
tried, I
waiting for
tried,
the
I
MLB
tried.
the MLB app to upload the what
I
happened
know.
when we blink and miss something.
But at least you can go back at the end of the night. And
You know what? It's still nice. No, we still go. I go back at the end of the night. I check my scorebook. I put in like
What do you
things
think we
that
do
I
on the
missed.
drive home?
Some exercise. Yeah, sometimes we'll do it on the drive home.
Danny,
You know, some interesting
I'll be honest.
statistics in the
I don't
book.
care enough. I care, but I don't care enough.
I don't
I'll just
care
look at the
enough.
bar score and be like, oh, okay. I watched the game.
God,
remember
Danny,
it.
Danny, remember the I think it was Yankees Royals that was probably the game I bitched about most when we were talking, and I was scoring the game, and Judge hit that like monstrous walk-off home run,
Yes. That was.
and I was like, well, wow, thank God I scored this game.
Yeah.
I think I scored like 2 games after that, so it's not as bad as Aaron Rodgers quitting on the Packers and the Packers being dead, but you know,
It's Jordan
Pete-
Love season, baby.
fuck you, Vin, fuck you.
The funniest thing with Snacks is I didn't realize Snacks did books, and I go, "What nerds do books?" And he's like, "Actually, I find it therapeutic." I'm like, oh,
It's
all
actually
right.
pretty. It's like keeps you in. Especially when you're at the game, and actually keeps you like involved.
Yeah, I see it. I
Snacks
just,
also thinks a guy playing with a broken thumb is quitting on his team, so I don't know what. I mean,
oh, whatever
Eli Manning
happened
won a
to
Super Bowl on a dislocated shoulder, you motherfucker.
Finn? What happened to his shoulder?
And guess what?
or
And guess what?
oblique?
Eli Manning didn't come out of the game when he hurt his shoulder too.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Aaron Rodgers did. Went and cried. By the way, Vin, I got a quick question, Danny. Before your question, I'm sorry, real quick, because then I want to let you guys go. I don't want to hijack. But
No, you never do.
when was the last time, Vin? Honest question. When do you think the last time Aaron Rodgers showered?
Oh, he's also a 9/11.
2 girlfriends
conspiracy-
ago.
9/11 conspiracy.
Danica Patrick. had to
Danica-
go
Danica
last.
Patrick.
Yeah,
Danica
Deshaun
Patrick
Kaiser,
made
he has
him-
to study- He has to study up on 9/11.
Right.
What a sick fuck. What is wrong with you, Vin? What do you root for?
Deshaun Kaiser also later in that interview just admitted he couldn't call the plays. It took him 3 times to go back
Well,
to Hugh
he-
Jackson, the worst coach in the history of the fucking league.
If you
call a
remember
play.
correctly, remember I did say he's not ready to be an NFL quarterback, and then he still went into the draft.
Danny is the resident Notre Dame fan. He would know.
If
He
if
did
I
say it.
feel bad for any person in the history of sports, I think I feel worse for Joe Thomas. Do you imagine the idiots Joe Thomas had to block for his entire fucking life?
Well,
honestly,
it's funny to think that like he can actually own that quarterback that fan has that has the list of quarterbacks because he blocked for every single one.
Yeah,
of them.
all of them.
And then it'll always make me laugh that once Joe Thomas retires, like the Browns
Won a
kinda get
game and
good.
like
yeah,
became
well,
relevant.
that's rough.
They go to the playoffs. Yeah.
And then they get a rapist quarterback, and here we are. We'll see what happens.
We'll
Oh,
see what
yeah.
happens this
Ah,
week
here
in
we are.
Houston
That's
when
true.
I mean,
it's-
Vin, you know they're gonna win out and go to the playoffs.
Oh, for
You know.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to look at their schedule to be completely honest, but they're gonna win a couple games. They're gonna make it interesting.
I'm
I
really
still-
excited
I
for
still-
Jacoby Brissett to be the Jets starting quarterback next season.
Oh yeah.
I got physically ill and angry watching the the Browns giving him the game ball for being a great teammate.
No. Oh.
Thank you for like taking
It's
one
like
for
the league
team.
being like, "Hey,
but-
thanks for being a class act. Here's a football."
That's like me going. Danny, you can attest to this. That's like me going through 3 months of chemotherapy and then saying, "Oh, here's a Make-A-Wish. Good luck." Like, are you kidding me? That's what you're gonna give. You dumbasses.
Thanks.
It's
Thanks.
crazy to me.
The serial rapist is taking my job, but thanks for the game ball.
At least I got a football out of it.
I get a football.
Yo, can you imagine like watching showing up to
team.
like
All about
the
the team.
locker room and like he puts a book for like massages into the guy's locker
If
and be
I'm
like, "Yo,
Jacoby Brissett,
I got a
I'm
good
not
spot for
showing
you.
up
Go
to
get a
work.
massage. Thanks for calling the sport."
If I knew I didn't show up to work
Team.
this week,
It's
I'm
all
sorry.
about the team.
I'm out.
Actually, you know what's now that I think about it, that win against Tampa in overtime is actually huge because they're what
Oh, yeah.
5-7 now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
They have a good roster.
they're 4-7.
but
By the way, they're also
Oh,
seven
oh,
and a half
4-7?
favorites going.
I
to
thought they were
Tampa.
5-7 too. It says,
yeah,
it
but
says 4-7.
No, they're
Sean
4-7.
hasn't played in a year and 11 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's gonna
Yeah,
have
but-
some.
But in all
rust.
fairness, he's getting a preseason game to start. He's playing
I
Houston
know,
this
but
week.
he's gonna have some rust.
Yeah.
Oh, if I'm the owner of the Texans, I'm calling every girl that filed a lawsuit.
Oh,
and be
there
like, hey,
was
you want
a-
to come to the game this week?
There was a fake article about that this week, actually.
Oh, Danny, that was fake. That they're all going.
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I
know.
would just put them all across the first row right behind their bench.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Or just make them the honorary like cheerleaders for the week and just have them on the field.
But I'm not getting into it.
I'm not getting in it. Boys, go do the rest of your show. I'm sorry. Vin, let me tell you one last thing before I leave. I love meeting you. You're a great man. I despise you. Okay?
Snacks, are you excited for our very big tailgate on Sunday?
The feeling's mutual.
Good. It should be mutual.
What's
'cause
the
I'll
big
fucking
tailgate
kill
on
you.
Sunday?
We got a big game. It's a must win.
Joey's doing DJing, right?
You're gonna wear a bunch
Joey's
of
back
jerseys
on the
that
sticks. Yep.
a bunch
Joey's
of old
back on the
people
sticks.
wore, and then lose to Taylor Heineke?
Yes, but
We're actually going to battle the statues. We're going to have Sean Taylor's
Right.
statue
That's
versus
what we're gonna
all
do.
the statues we have.
we'll still win.
I
No,
got a better chance of hitting the lottery tomorrow, boys. I wish I popped in a little bit earlier. I'm sorry, but Vin, fuck you, Steve, Danny, love you guys.
so yeah.
Love you, Snacks. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna watch the rest. All right, I'll talk to you, boys.
Enjoy the rest of your wooden paneled basement.
Fuck you, Vin.
Hanging out.
It's the same old place like we did last week.
Did you guys watch the teaser for the show?
I have not.
No,
I think I'm in.
they're making a new one.
The 90s show. It's about
Oh, right.
Ren and Kitty are back, and then it's the grandkids.
I hope Mila and
They're all in it.
Ashton don't get divorced.
They're all in it.
They're all in it? Okay.
Except for, of course.
Oh well, yeah,
what's
serial
his name?
rapist.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, he got
Danny
Yeah.
Mc, whatever his name
I
is.
thought he.
Masterson.
That's
That
his
was
name,
that was also a good show.
He got, like,
if you
I
needed
know,
a mindless
This
show.
is an honest question.
It ended in a
He is
misfile.
alive, but just canceled.
Yes,
What?
very
Okay.
canceled.
Because he was Ashton's brother on the Netflix show they did, and they
Yeah.
They
killed,
killed
the
him off.
character.
Yeah, they
But
killed
I
him
killed
off.
him
I
and they
thought he
brought
actually
back
died, to be completely honest.
No, that was when it happened. They're like,
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
Yeah, they like killed him off.
The way
following
they
season.
killed him off was a good way of killing him off too.
Yeah, no, he went on they ended the season before perfectly to like set it up.
Yeah.
Where it was very easy to kill him off.
I never watched. I think I watched the first season, to be honest. It wasn't that bad, but
It was
I've
a good
seen
show.
the clip.
Yeah, it was good, and then it got tired at the end. And
It
I didn't
got
watch
tired
the
at the end because they just tried to do too much that 70s show. They started
Right.
bringing back cast members and stuff
Well,
from
yeah.
that 70s show, so it kind of like,
What else is
all right.
And they were divorced at the end, and it was just like, ugh.
All right.
Ravens.
I really want to take the Ravens, but
me too. But 8.5 is a lot.
Oh yeah,
Can
I'm
they
thinking about the
cover
Ravens. The Ravens couldn't
8.5?
even beat the Texans.
You mean the Jags?
They couldn't beat
Jags.
the Jags. They barely beat the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going. I hate doing it, but I'm going Broncos.
They're probably going to cover. You're probably right.
Obviously, the Ravens are going to win. I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah.
All right, the game we just talked about. I'm going Texans just because I think Wilson's going to be not Wilson. Watson's going to be rusty.
I can see them. I see the Browns winning, but the Texans covering the 7.5.
Right, same. I mean, this has to be a Geno Smith bounce back game. We don't know the quarterback situation again. For
Rams
the
have been
Rams,
trash.
they're done. They gave
I'm
up
taking the
this season.
Seahawks, 100%.
Yeah, this is a bounce back game for Geno.
We do realize that Geno Smith is about to win the NFC West, right? I don't know.
Jimmy's.
San Fran. Yeah, San Fran has it covered. They tailed off big time.
I bet
Their defense is terrible.
I bet you the Seattle fans did not look at the beginning of the season and say, "Oh, we traded Russell. We're going to the playoffs."
Right, that was the joke.
No, I mean, I would have said 3 wins, to be completely honest. So the fact that they have 6 already, good for them.
That's the shitty part. If we tie them at the end of the year, they're going to the playoffs and we're going home because of the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
As of the recording, I don't know. I'm sure McCaffrey is going to be playing, but we don't know to what extent. I really like the Dolphins.
This would have been a good Sunday night game.
I think the Dolphins are going to find a way to cover that.
I'm surprised.
I'm going to take the Niners at home.
I'm surprised that it's this much. I would have called it probably 2.5 because neutral field, I would give the Dolphins the edge.
Right.
So I'm taking the Dolphins.
I'm going to go Niners. Chiefs are on their run.
Yeah.
So are the Bengals, though. They're starting it.
Yeah, they're. This is going to be a game. This is the must listen on the car ride home, Steve, on Sirius.
I'll be sleeping. I got a nap for the hockey game.
Oh, that's right.
Lucky hockey game?
The Islanders are home, so since it's on the way home, we're stopping off and watching the hockey game.
Well, I can't be sleeping because I'll crash the car, so I will be listening to
Yes, Danny, stay awake.
I'm
taking the Bengals. That's it. I'm being bold.
I'm going Chiefs. I
like the boldness, Finn. I'm going Kansas City.
My guy, Joe Burrow.
I'm going neither of these two teams.
Patrick Mahomes looks better than he did all of last year. This year,
I'm going neither of these teams are going to win.
Yeah, I'm going for a tie. The tie they should have taken the last week of last season is going to happen now.
Yeah, to put Ben Roethlisberger, because it could have avoided Ben Roethlisberger,
in the fucking playoffs. They could have saved us all that nonsense by just taking a tie.
I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
I want to go neither.
Well, yes, that is the.
There's no way the Cowboys don't cover this game.
I mean, they should.
9.5's a lot, but
they're at home.
Yeah.
Screw it. I could lose a game.
9.5's a lot. I don't know.
Tampa.
I'm going Saints. This is where Andy Dalton throws 5 picks for touchdowns, but
no, I think this is the Bucks. I think this is where they start the run to the NFC Championship.
We said that in
40.5.
We did that. We said that in Germany.
Well, it's happening again, Danny.
I'm going 45 on the.
If I just keep telling you Tom Brady's going to go on a run, you'll believe me until it's actually impossible for him to do it.
You know what's funny? You know what's going to be funny about it?
At some point.
You know what's
Nope.
gonna be funny about it?
No.
When Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl at the end of the year, and Vin goes, "You guys remember what I told you in November that he was going on a run?"
It's currently the odds when I looked the other day were plus 700 for them to go to the Super Bowl. I was honestly going to put some money on it, but
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It's just they're off.
they are, but it doesn't take that. It's the Todd Bowles effect is the problem. He stinks.
He's terrible.
Like-
He's the definition of the guy that can coordinate with the best of them, but
Right.
can't head coach.
He needs to just do his Wade Phillips acceptance and be a defensive coordinator for the rest of his life and be fine. Is there any chance that Brady and Arians patch things up in the next 3 weeks?
And he just shows up.
And he just shows up and goes, "I'm coaching again."
Goes, "This is my team."
Yeah, because he's still there. He's still
I
hanging
mean, he was on the
around.
sideline randomly at that one game.
Yeah. Bring him back.
Imagine they just like
Such a cool.
Monday night, halftime, lights go out in the stadium, nobody knows what's happening,
Oh my
and he just
God!
runs out of time.
That's Bruce Arians music.
He just runs out, and,
Yeah.
and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are just like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
Bug out.
Like, it was crazy. It was kind of weird too. On
Just get Joe Buck's weird. His monitor. It seems like Bruce Arians is going to coach the team.
It really is weird. It's so
that
weird
they
that,
didn't
they're on ESPN still.
It
And-
really throws me off every time I turn it on.
and
I
also
kind of
like
miss them on.
also
phone, not gonna lie.
Thanksgiving, like there was no Joe and Troy on Thanksgiving.
No, you know what? And it's weird them not being 4 o'clock. I like Kevin Burkhardt a lot. I
Yeah.
like the baseball dude better. I don't know his name.
He did the Jet game.
Yeah,
Joe
I like
Davis.
him better because he did the Viking Bill game, that crazy one, and he was like into it. I like that. He's like the Matt Vescursion of football at the moment. Like he just is nuts.
Joe Davis.
How can we
Yeah, Joe
forget?
Davis.
You gotta talk about college football after.
I mean,
My opinion is simple.
biggest win.
I think when USC loses this week, if they end up losing to, I think it's Washington.
No,
Ohio
it's
State's in.
Utah.
It's Utah.
Oh, it's Utah. I know it was like a confused. As of 11 o'clock Saturday, they didn't.
Right, it was all over the place because somebody.
Because Oregon lost.
Yeah,
It was
because
supposed to be
Oregon lost.
but
It
then
was
they
supposed to be
lost.
Oregon and they lost to
There was
Oregon State.
proportions.
Danny, well, I mean, Danny, you two more of a college guy. So, like, do you think the team should be basically, quote unquote, punished for having to play their conference championship games?
It depends on the scenario.
If they get blown out, you can't
Like,
put them in the playoff. If they
the team-
lose on the last second
Okay.
field goal, that's a different story.
Like for example, let's say if
Like
LSU,
TCU.
Okay, let me tell you a better one.
Okay.
Then if TCU loses, they lose it because their conference and what happened this year,
Their
like
conference is
you
shit.
they
But that's what I
can't-
keep saying. Because every time Oklahoma makes it, they get their ass kicked.
Yeah, let me tell you the scenario that would better make you understand. If LSU only had that one loss and they only lost to Georgia by like 3 points, they would have had a hard time being like shit. I'd rather a 2-loss, technically a 1-loss LSU team in the playoff over a TCU team that is kind of rough. But Kansas State is a good team, so TCU could easily lose. Kansas State blew a big lead against TCU when they played
Earlier in the year.
So the thought of TCU losing isn't out of the realm of possibility. So if there is a team to lose of the top 4, it could easily be TCU, and then that's when the fun starts.
Isn't
See,
Kansas State
my
like
thing
10
is
or something? Or they're there.
LSU
there.
got dropped.
Yeah, if LSU didn't get dropped by South Carolina, no, Texas A&M, they would have
lost
had a
Texas
shot.
A&M.
They got the second loss.
they
That was the
plummeted.
difference.
Well, because that was their second loss. But
But the thing is how is Bama so much ranked higher than them?
They only have one
'Cause
loss.
Bama,
No, Bama has 2 losses.
yeah,
Bama lost
Yeah.
twice, and one of them's LSU. So LSU
Yeah,
technically,
that is weird. I don't know.
right?
I guess it's just because how bad they lost. Oh, okay.
And then this week,
This is
let's
why
say-
LSU
let's
lost by like a total of 6 points this year. The 2 losses. That's
No,
that's
Bama
probably-
lost by like 6. You mean?
Oh, I said LSU. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bama lost
Yeah.
the
Because I
total like
remember
5 or 6
LSU
points.
was the 2-point conversion in overtime,
Right.
so they lost by 1 in that
Right.
game.
Well, that's the whole thing. Should like
But Alabama was off all season long.
should we be taking, I guess, the conference they play in into
theoretically,
effect?
theoretically, if TCU loses, it should be Ohio State.
It should be.
But
I
Ohio
think
State
they'll
got
give Georgia a
embarrassed
better
so bad
game.
in Ellis in at home. It was what the thing that might hold them back. But it should be Ohio State. But I thought they were overrated all season as well.
Ohio State?
I thought they were overrated all year.
I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it was a blowout because they gave up 2 80-yard runs in the fourth quarter.
Well,
but it was a close game for the most of the game.
It was, but the problem
is that they didn't decide to make the change at halftime
right.
to realize Blake Corum's not playing. We can't run the ball.
Right.
Let's start defending the pass and make them run the ball with the not as great running game.
Right.
And then when they finally decided to do it, we were already revved up, ready to go. And
yeah, I think with them is what hurts the Ohio State and Michigan was the out of conference games. I mean, Ohio State did play Notre Dame at the start of the year, so that kind of would have helped. But both Michigan and Ohio State's out of conference scheduling was kind of weak. But
I mean, the fact Notre Dame's still ranked is just funny. Like it feels like
they had a rough first year, but they found ways. Like their bad losses are obviously bad, but their win against Clemson, who was the most overrated team in the country, was obviously huge. So, I'm excited. I hope Michigan looks good in the playoffs. They could hopefully see what happens until they play Georgia. Like
the advantage they have is
they could win.
If they win their conference, they lock in the 2 seed.
Right.
Winning the game Saturday night locks in the 2 seed, which will avoid Georgia in that first game like they had last year.
Right.
And let's face it, Georgia's good this year, but they're not.
They're
not
as good as they were last year.
They had last year.
They lost like 5 starters on defense.
Offensively, they're better this year. Defensively, they took a big step back.
That's true. But their defense is still stupid.
I mean,
no, 100%.
They lost a bunch of starters.
Did they lose a game this year? No, right?
No, they're undefeated. They're U2 and TCU, the 3 undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Let TCU get blown out by Georgia. That's fine.
Yeah.
They would play you.
Right now, if it was if all 4 win and they just leave it the way
I mean, for Michigan's sake, I would hope they would play TCU because
USC is playing out of their mind too.
USC is lighting it up on the scoreboard, but Michigan has a tough enough defense and they can muck it up.
The crazy thing about it, and I was talking to Rosen about it, Michigan's defense is better this year than it was last year, and we lost our top 2 players to the draft, and we also lost 3 defensive backs to the draft.
And
one
Corum also has to be very healthy.
Right, to be back.
I think the plan so far, what I was reading this week, is that the plan right now with him is to basically do what they did in Ohio State, see how it goes, go through warm-ups, let's see what happens.
Right.
And then worst case scenario is you're running your offense like you did.
I'm sorry. Michigan could beat literally any team in the country after going into the horseshoe and dominating that whole entire game. I know it was counter punches in the first half, and then they opened it up.
Well, that was your typical rivalry game in that first half. That was we're going punch for punch.
But they were hanging on with points for points, and then obviously until they opened it up.
And also, JJ played poorly at start, and even they said he was like, "Hey, he's not great right now, but he turned it around." And
they're playing Purdue, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no reason for them to play Corum at all.
Well, but it's still. He's not one of those guys that what stinks is because of him missing. I don't think he gets invited to New York. I thought he.
That's the roughest.
I thought he had the shot of getting the invite at least to go to New York. I didn't think he would win.
Obviously, a running back wouldn't.
Yeah, it's tough for running back.
I mean, 19 touchdowns on the season is
right.
But it's still you gotta have crazy numbers.
I think it's gonna be the quarterback from USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the front runner right now. And then I forgot who else they said may be going also. They said Stroud may be going from Ohio State.
He'll be a body.
But again,
would
I
bully
don't. I think it'll be interesting to see if they invite if they invite 4 guys. I can see Corum being that 4th guy.
Yeah, it's usually 4.
Right. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. But if they invite
Depending
4,
on the class.
I could see Corum being one of the guys that gets.
And I could
invited.
also see Stenson Bennett being a thank you for being awesome
Georgia
in the last
quarterback.
2 years.
The Georgia quarterback.
I don't think he's going to be anything special in the NFL, but he
No.
obviously had a great college career, and he's
Again, I've said
25.
it-
I didn't realize he was 25 years old.
I said it the past couple
Chad
of weeks.
Winky.
Is he?
Yeah,
I didn't know this is fucking Brandon Whedon all over again.
Brandon Whedon.
Listen,
and, Chad
I
Winky.
think he could be one of those like middle round picks that just comes out of nowhere and you just never know. So
At 25,
right.
though.
But was it you that we had that conversation with of like he could be good? Or was
he
it
could be
someone
good.
else?
Yeah, I've been saying
Yeah.
it for a couple of weeks now. I think like he has
Yeah.
the potential to be good,
Yeah,
but he's going to be
I
one
don't
of those guys who like
I don't see it in the NFL.
if Jordan Love wasn't the Packer backup, would be a good guy to go sit
'Cause
behind
I think-
Rodgers for a couple of years.
I think the talent, the world talent that they had
Last
around
year,
him. Well, yeah, last year and this year. It was crazy. You imagine if Justin Fields stayed and he didn't lose to Jake Fromm
in Georgia.
in Georgia. How stupid that team would have been.
Well, think about this, Danny. Who's playing quarterback for South Carolina right now? Who's going on a tear?
Oh, Radler. He sucks still. I don't think
Exactly. He sucks, and now he's on this tear of.
Remember 2 years ago, like 2 years ago, he was like the number 1 rated prospect. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, in 2 years, he's going to be awesome.
Ben, I have some big news for you.
You save money on your car insurance?
That's what you gotta go.
I have bigger news, Ben.
The Mets signed Jay Bruce again. We're almost.
All right. Well, Archie Manning losing his championship game on a 100-yard interception hurts.
Is that what
Ouch.
that happened?
Yeah.
Well, that's
But-
fine.
Also, Texas beating Kansas and Baylor to end the season. And now Archie's going there next year. We're there, Ben. We're right there.
They're gonna be so back.
The
If
problem
anybody
is,
can fuck up a Manning, though, it's Texas for sure.
I have a question, Danny. When are they joining the SEC? Is it next season?
Into his sophomore
2
year.
years, right? Yeah.
Oof. I wonder. It'll be interesting to see if he goes like, all right, I blew up the Big 12. I had a great year. Let me go in the transfer portal before I have to play the SEC.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, but even the other two were everybody was in the SEC. So
Can you imagine? Can you imagine
keeping
if
up the
he
tradition of
transfers out
SEC
because they go to
football.
the transfer
Yeah.
portal? Can you imagine? Like
he's
like,
the only
nope,
one
I'm
that
out.
doesn't play in the SEC.
He's like, yep, I'm out. I went to Texas not to be in the SEC. These fucks.
No, well, that was the whole point of him going to Texas.
Right. That he wanted to go to the SEC, like the rest of them.
Listen, Texas is.
And Sarkisian should be a good coach.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
that
he's
he'll
been
be
a quarterback coach.
He's a quarterback whisperer.
So, except for in the
They,
post.
they had a good game with their backup against Alabama early in the year. I think if the starter
Texas.
played, yeah, that was a good game this year.
All right.
Well, I found
Well-
that website. I didn't really know what was going on with Texas football this year.
Let's
We're
go
almost-
Giants. Let's
we
right
are
the ship. Playoffs
Almost
start.
there.
Playoffs start on
The
Sunday.
playoff run starts now.
Taylor Heineke, let's go, baby.
Mm-mm.
I still expect Tyler Heineke to blow us up, but anyway.
Yeah, hopefully not.
But don't worry.
I think honestly, before we hang up, I think the Giants played as good as they could have against Dallas on Thanksgiving defensively.
Oh, no doubt about it. They just got torn apart towards the end because it just started.
They were
like,
so banged up, and
Okay.
and Tibbs needs to learn acting job to
get those calls on all the holdings that he gets against him.
that.
And you know what? They've been saying it for a long time.
And Carl
And I
Banks
was-
is right. He's gonna get a couple. He's gonna have that one game that he only has one sack now, but he's getting close. And hopefully with Ojolari, hopefully he stays healthy now. He opens it up a little bit, and he starts. He's gonna get that one game with 2 or 3 sacks, and everybody's gonna be off him because he's not getting the sacks.
Honestly, I was one of those guys who wasn't like high on him going into the draft last year.
Mhm.
But like just watching his work ethic on the field, like that
Right.
guy is by the quarterback on every play.
Right. So,
It's like insanely crazy.
It's
how
gonna
he
be a
does.
good. It's gonna be an evenly matched game on Sunday.
Is
Hopefully,
Chase Young playing or no? Or they
we don't know
decided
yet. We don't know.
Most
yet.
likely, because they kind of. I think if I remember, they held him out.
Right, they held them out last week. But
Reminds
can
me
they?
of another pass rusher.
Chase Young and Antonio Gibson both limited Wednesday in practice.
I could see them holding him
Chase
off
Young
one
was like
week.
sick last week, though.
Yeah, he was sick last week.
I can
So I
see
think
a
he's
scenario
back from
where
whatever
he's like a
actual
third down
injury
guy
he
this
had.
week. Just
Right.
remember, he's coming off the ACL, so I can see a very.
Chase Young.
I could see what? Yeah, Chase Young. I could see a scenario where it's like third down rushing,
Yeah,
third and
yeah.
longs, things like that. Big fourth down plays. You put him on the ice, and
Put him
that's
on
when
the
you'll
ice. Love it. Put him out there on the power play. Love it.
right. He'll be the extra. He'll be
Third
the.
down.
He'll be the slap shot on the.
He'll be
point.
the extra attack.
He'll be on Evan Neal because he hasn't played in 2 months.
Right. They'll
Hopefully
be
he comes
like,
back.
hey, go face the guy who hasn't played in 2 months and is a rookie.
Yep.
Well,
All right.
With that being said, enjoy your football weekend, and we will see everybody next week.